You are staring at this screen right now, completely confident that humanity will always dominate the Earth. You assume 7 billion people mean our species is bulletproof. But biologically, your entire global population came terrifyingly close to zero. 74,000 years ago, the planet nearly erased humanity forever. That is an evolutionary blink of an eye. For 99% of human history, your ancestors fought for survival against a planetary apocalypse. A colossal supervolcano erupted on the island of Sumatra. It unleashed a volcanic winter that blocked out the sun for 6 long years. The human population plummeted from tens of thousands to barely a few thousand breeding individuals. Every single human alive today is descended from those few desperate survivors. How did a fragile ape species survive a global apocalypse that wiped out millions? Look around at modern society today. You live in a world of 8 billion interconnected human beings. You assume our numbers give us permanent security. Geneticists tell a very different story written in your DNA. Compared to chimpanzees, human genetic diversity is shockingly low. 2 chimpanzees in the same West African forest have more genetic differences than 2 humans from opposite sides of the planet. Why are all 8 billion humans so genetically identical? Because your ancestral population shrank to a microscopic bottleneck. In the 1990s, anthropologist Dr. Stanley Ambrose proposed the Toba catastrophe theory. He analyzed ice core samples from Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets. 74,000 years ago, Mount Toba erupted in Sumatra, Indonesia. It was a super-eruption rated at Category 8 on the Volcanic Explosivity Index. It was the largest volcanic event on Earth in the last 2 million years. Toba blasted 2,800 cubic kilometers of ash and rock into the upper atmosphere. A giant cloud of toxic sulfur dioxide gas wrapped around the entire planet. The sun was blotted out. Day turned into perpetual twilight. Global temperatures dropped abruptly by up to 15 degrees Celsius. Tropical rainforests withered and died overnight. Monsoon rains completely collapsed. The Earth was plunged into a harsh, dark volcanic winter that lasted for 6 years. Imagine what happened to your ancestors on the ground. Plants died. Giant herbivores like mammoths, deer, and wild cattle starved. Water sources turned acidic from volcanic ash rainfall. Across Africa, Asia, and Europe, early human tribes perished in mass starvation. Geneticist Dr. Lynn Jord analyzed human mitochondrial DNA divergence. His calculations revealed a dramatic population crash. The global Homo sapiens population collapsed to somewhere between 1,000 and 10,000 breeding pairs. Think about that number. The entire human race could have fit inside a single modern football stadium. One disease outbreak or one harsh winter could have driven humanity into complete extinction. We were as endangered as mountain gorillas are today. How did those few thousand ancestors manage to stay alive? South African archaeologist Dr. Curtis Marean discovered crucial evidence at Pinnacle Point. Pinnacle Point is a series of coastal sea caves on the southern tip of South Africa. While the interior continent turned into a frozen, barren wasteland, the southern coast offered a unique refugium. The warm Agulhas Ocean current kept the coastal water rich in marine life. Your ancestors retreated to these sea caves. They adapted their diet to harvesting shellfish, mussels, and giant sea snails. Shellfish provided a stable, nutrient-dense food source rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids were fuel for brain development and immune system resilience. The sea saved humanity from starvation. Pinnacle Point also revealed a technological revolution born out of desperation. To harvest marine resources and hunt animals in the harsh terrain, your ancestors invented heat-treated Silcrete technology. They buried raw stone in hot ash beneath campfires for hours. Controlled heat altered the molecular structure of the stone. It allowed them to flake ultra-sharp microlith blades. These tiny razor-sharp blades were mounted onto wooden shafts to create the world's first projectile spears. Adversity forced human innovation. Catastrophe became the mother of high-tech engineering. The Toba Bottleneck also reshaped human social behavior. When resources were scarce, isolated tribes could not afford internal warfare. They had to cooperate. They formed long-distance trade networks using seashells and ochre pigments. They developed symbolic art and complex language to coordinate survival strategies. Altruism and empathy were selected by evolution. The tribes that shared food survived. The selfish tribes died alone. You are the descendant of the most cooperative humans who ever lived. What does the Toba catastrophe teach us about our modern world? Today, we take our global civilization for granted. We build fragile supply chains dependent on electricity and digital networks. We pollute the oceans that once saved us from extinction. We ignore the lessons of planetary history. The Toba Supervolcano proves that human dominance is temporary. Nature can reset the global balance in a matter of hours. Our ancestors survived not because of physical strength, but because of cognitive flexibility and community bonds. If society faced a global collapse today, could you survive? Would you know how to harvest food without a grocery store? Would you know how to cooperate with your neighbors when power fails? Or has modern comfort made you fragile? Your DNA carries the memory of the wild. Every cell in your body is forged from the survivors of the Toba Bottleneck. Do not let modern consumerism dull your survival edge. Challenge yourself to learn practical wilderness skills. Build strong bonds with your local community. Practice active learning and mental adaptability. Reclaim your ancestral resilience. Respect the power of nature. Protect the living planet. Modern geological studies remind us that supervolcanoes are not a thing of the past. Subterranean magma chambers continue to pulse beneath Yellowstone and Lake Toba today. Yet modern humans spend trillions on temporary distractions while ignoring planetary risks. We rely on fragile digital clouds and global supply chains. If a solar storm or volcanic eruption disabled the electrical grid tomorrow, panic would spread within hours. The survivors of Toba did not panic. They adapted immediately. They learned to read weather patterns, track seasonal animal migrations, and preserve food. They worked together as tight-knit tribal units. Humanity survived because individuals put the group's survival above personal greed. That deep cooperative instinct is still encoded in your biology. You feel a sense of purpose when helping others in times of crisis. That is not a coincidence. That is an evolutionary gift passed down from the survivors of the ash storm. Do not isolate yourself in the digital void. Reconnect with your community. Train your mind to solve complex physical problems. Spend time outdoors learning to navigate and observe natural ecosystems. Next time you look up at a clear blue sky, remember the 6 dark years of volcanic twilight. Remember the brave few who kept the human flame burning. You carry their fire within you. Keep your mind sharp. Keep your body strong. Step outside into nature today. Remember who you are. You are staring at this screen right now.